How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to my channel where today we're back with another BuzzFeed quiz. You already know. I mean, I love these things. I'm doing a little bit of a different one today, though. I'm doing a do you think Harry Potter characters would survive if you put them in these TV shows? Now, I'm a big Harry Potter fan, have been since I was a kid. Come on now. Greatest movie series of all time. Let's just be honest here. Let's just be real. Right? And I'm a big fan of TV shows. I got a wide variety of TV shows that I'm a fan of. I'm hoping that I know every TV show here. If not, it's going to be a little bit awkward. I'm not going to lie. Only slight little hesitation I have with this. Probably should have proofread the quiz, but it's fine. It's fine. We're going to go ahead and we're going to do this thing. Let's get into it. All right, so do you think Harry Potter characters would survive in these TV shows? We're starting off hot with Ron Weasley in Supernatural. Now, listen, I love me some Ron Weasley. All right, he's funny. He's cool. But man, I think it's a long day for him. I think it's a long day. Let's put some context here though. Is he against the Winchesters? Because if he's against the Winchesters, he's chalked. Let's call a spade, all right? He's probably done for. I love the guy. I mean, I'm assuming they still have, they're still wizards and they still have their wands and whatnot. But I think regardless, the Winchesters have dealt with much scarier and much worse. So I think that's a long day. But I mean, on the other side though, if he's with the Winchesters, then he's probably still chalked. Yeah, it's being an ally of the Winchesters. He still didn't last very long in that show. Let me tell you. So yeah, I mean, maybe he survives for a little while, but his time would run out eventually. I mean, as would anyone else in that show. Let's just be honest. I'm gonna have to say no. Oh yeah, 68% said no. Makes sense. I mean, everyone got chalked in that show. Let's just be honest. Oh, would Hermione Granger survive in Game of Thrones? Well, it depends. Are we going with the Hermione Granger we all know and love? Or are we going in an alternate universe where, season 8 Game of Thrones writers are in control of the situation? Because then, anything's on the table. If you can't tell, season 8 really it got to me. It made me very emotional, and not in the right way, not in the good way, not in the way I wished. But realistically speaking, Hermione, she is the one who has the highest chance of surviving in any of these shows, because not only is she a fantastic witch, but she's also smarter than everyone else, and she's smarter because she puts the time in. It's not like she was just born with a certain level of intelligence and it just carries her through life. She hits the books, she studies hard, she puts the time in. And so, if she put the time in, and I mean, I think the picture's very fitting here too, because, Hand of the Queen to Daenerys, that would be fire. Love me some Tyrion, but, just saying, it's right in front of me. But I think it's weird. It's a difficult one. I think she would. But then, you have to add these layers in. Like, if she's in that world, is she just there by herself? Are we putting her into a certain house? Are we putting her allied with certain people? There's different layers that you got to add on to it. And then that kind of changes the whole scenario of things. But I'm going to say yes. 84% say yes. I mean, it makes sense. It just, the only world where I say no is if, she's not allied with any house and she's just kind of thrown into the world randomly. But you put her in like a good situation, and yeah, she's got that place on lock. Would Remus Lupin survive in Teen Wolf? Yeah, probably. Let's be honest. He was a little bit more menacing than most of the wolves on the show. I love me some Teen Wolf though. He reminds me, like, his wolf very similar to Peter in season 1. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Peter didn't survive, to be fair, but he was also a little bit psycho. So, but to be fair, Lupin doesn't really have control over himself when he shifts, right? So that adds a different layer. I mean, he probably would. Let's be honest, especially if he has no control. That makes me assume that he would be on the evil side when he turns into a wolf. And if he's facing Scott, well, Scott's not gonna kill him. So he's probably good. You know what I'm saying? I mean, in general, I don't say no one. There were a few people that passed away, but in general, for the most part, There weren't too many casualties in that show, so I'm gonna say yes. Yeah, 78% said yes. Makes sense. I mean, that's just a show where not that many people pass away except for certain people. Yeah. Anyway, let's move on. Would Draco Malfoy survive in the 100? Ooh, now this is a tough one for two reasons. Well, for one main reason is I didn't watch the entire show. So I've seen a lot of the show. I've seen a few seasons, and then I've seen bits and pieces of the seasons that I haven't watched through clips on TikTok. So I don't 100% know everything that goes on, but I know the overall idea of the show, and I've watched bits and pieces. But now it's an interesting one because Draco, I mean, you give him his wand, and he's probably good, realistically speaking. But I don't know, man. He was kind of soft in the movies. Let's be honest. Let's call a spade a spade. You know, I mean, I guess he was still technically like a teenager or whatever. But man, like, you know, he didn't have the stomach to, you know, do what had to be done with Dumbledore. And when it came time to make a decision, he didn't have, you know, he wasn't really that evil. So I don't know. Maybe I'm just babbling here, but I think this is a tough one. Because, you know, I'm thinking it's like a similar environment to being a Death Eater where, you know, you got to make some tough decisions. You got to do some tough things. Would he fold? I don't know. He's got his wand, but someone catches him lacking without his wand. He's probably donezo. I'm going to say no. Yep, 62% said no. Yeah, I mean, that's a tough one, but yeah, no, I don't think so. Now, again, I haven't watched the entire show. Just going off of what I have seen. Next, we got, would Harry survive in The Walking Dead? That's a tough one. Not that tough. Probably not. Like, I mean, what spells would he even use against zombies? You know, I'm trying to, you know, you got that scene in The Half-Blood Prince where, oh, it's been a while. But you got all of those, you had the dead all pulling up on Harry through, like, the water, and he was low-key chalked if Dumbledore wasn't there doing his thing. He was. I mean, you know, there just aren't that many spells that you can use against the dead. I think he'd be chalked. Oh, close one, 52%. I think, you know what? I think it's Harry Tax. I think that 52% is Harry Tax, and you're giving them a little bit too much credit here. Like a wizard against it. Like, what spells is he gonna use against zombies? You know what I'm saying? It's tough. There's only so many, you know? I don't know. That's a tough one. An interesting one. I don't think he would, though. Probably not. Would Molly Weasley survive in any of the Real Housewives shows? I think she eats them all up. I mean, come on now. We saw with Bellatrix, like, she can get her hands dirty. You know what I'm saying? She can get to that level if she needs to. Yes. Duh. 71% say yes. Yeah, I love me some Molly Weasley. And, oh, that's it. All right, shorter quiz. Pretty fun one. All right, well, that's going to do it for me today. I mean, shorter quiz today, but it was a fun one, you know, combining my favorite movie series of all time, Harry Potter, with some of my favorite shows. Yeah, no, it was a fun one. Let me know what you guys think down below. You know, if you agree with some of my selections. If you don't, let me know why. And without further ado, that's going to do it for me. Peace.